All right, welcome everybody out there. How you guys all doing today? Welcome one, welcome all. Wow, really interesting day that we got going on right here today. And kind of really quick, I want to go over just a few things. Super important. We just had this pop up here. This came in about a couple hours ago. So we've got this, and it just basically what it says. It says the Polish police have arrested Ivan Manuel Molina Lee, right, the president of Crypto Capital, right, on accusations of money laundering, and they go in to show how this all ties in with those gentlemen who are arrested here in for shadow banking. So right here basically says he's directly connected with the U.S. Department of Justice's claim, where they popped those two guys. One's an Israeli, one's an American. They got the guy out of Phoenix, Arizona. So the guy in Phoenix, had about $14,000 in U.S. cash, fake. Well, it wasn't U.S. cash. It was fake money. So he had $14K in fake counterfeit $100 bills on him, $14,000. So what I'm thinking is, and that was in November. They got that guy in November. The two of them, they got both of them. So I don't know what's going on with that so far, but they have both those guys. Now, come to find out that this guy, who's also associated with them, gets popped. All right, now here's my question. I'm looking at this, and this says that he was arrested by Polish authorities and extradited. So how long has this guy been arrested, and how long has this guy been in custody is kind of my two biggest questions that I have right here, right? Oh, hold on a second. I'm going to drag something over onto my screen. Give me a second, everybody. All right, hold on. Yeah, give me a second. Okay, so one of the things I want to show you is this is tech, the most amazing tech in the whole wide world. Of course, this is his money tracker, and I'm going to show it to you guys. So you're all going to get a chance to take a look at it. And here it is. It's just a screenshot of it. All right, so all I'm going to bring up is just a screenshot up of it. So this is what it is. So this right now, I can actually see all of the wallets and how much money is on each one of these wallets. And you see right now on Finex, they keep stacking more money into this wallet. So yesterday I recorded that there was like $136 million in here. This is their hot wallet right here. This is their hot wallet. This is the wallet they use. This is their hot wallet they use to trade with. There's 200 million and $620,000 in this wallet right now. They also have $47 million and $210,000 in another wallet. So they've got a combined almost $250 million that they've stacked up on Bitfinex exchange. Now this is really weird because they just dumped all of this money just here really recently, and we could see it flowing from Huobi, we could see it flowing from Binance. So all this money came in from all these other exchanges, and it went into this hot wallet right here. And we really don't know what's going on. And here's just kind of some of the notes that I outlined for everybody, and some of the things I was looking at. First of all, this guy was extradited from Warsaw, right, to Warsaw, Poland, right? So that's kind of the first thing that I noticed right here, right, that this guy was extradited. So how long have they had him in custody is really my first question, right? How long have they had this guy in custody? So he was extradited to Warsaw, Poland, under police escort right here. Where did he get extradited from? Somewhere in Europe, apparently, if he was. And how long did it take to extradite him? A week, a day, 2 days, a month? I don't know. Different extradition laws take different amounts of time. Okay. Number two is they basically said that they've got him on crimes that include laundering dirty money for Colombian drug cartels using a crypto exchange. Right? It doesn't say crypto exchanges, it just says a crypto exchange. Now, they didn't name an exchange here, which is also very interesting because, why wouldn't they name I mean, just name Bitfinex, right? Why wouldn't you just name Bitfinex? If it's Finex, why wouldn't you just name it? I mean, you called them out up here, right? You called Finex out up here, but they didn't call Finex out down here. So now that leaves to question what exchange, you know, and I wrote a bunch of notes when I wrote all this out. So I did this and I wrote a whole bunch of notes out. One of the things is, if they did do it on an exchange, there's a bunch of risk that's going to be associated, right? There's going to be a whole bunch of risk that's associated if this just did come off of a, I should move this over here, copy, sorry. And if there is, right, if authorities can prove that the exchange was willingly being used or used illegally with the knowledge of insiders, and if it was Finex, then the exchange would be party to criminal activities that would then set them up for government seizure, like the feds did, for example, with One Fox. I don't know if you guys remember One Fox a long time ago. One Fox basically was doing derivatives trading and all kinds of stuff here in America. The feds just went in and said, you know what, nice try, boom, and just literally just shut them down, right? Just shut them down. So they just walked right in, seized their website, closed them down. That was it. End of game, right? They gave them time to give everybody their money back, which was very nice, but a little bit of market panic. It wasn't really a big exchange. It was a very small exchange. So I don't know if a lot of you remember that, right? Number two, if they are hiding money, right? So they're saying, hey, there's all this money, right? They were laundering money. So were they laundering money and the money is gone? Or is the money actually sitting in wallets, right? So is that money sitting in wallets? Is that money sitting in Bitcoin right now? There's definitely not enough money on the exchange right now because there's only, you know, there's a little bit more right now. There's 250 million. At the time I wrote this today at 8 p.m., which it is now 10:50 p.m., 11 o'clock, few hours, there's been another $20 million that have been stacked onto this exchange right here. So now you've got another 20 million on here. So, you know, you're parked about 250 right now. So you got 250, whatever, you know, $250 million parked on the exchange. So with that being said, there's definitely not enough money there. I mean, is it off in a bunch of wallets? And would that be seized? Is it in Bitcoin? Would that be seized, right? If there's a, you know, call it $100 million in Bitcoin and $100 million in Bitcoin gets seized, that's a pretty big deal, right? So number five, right? Number five, if there is BTC and it gets seized, right? Then how much is it, and how would that affect the market? If, say, 50 million or 100 million in BTC got seized by the Polish government, what would they do with it? Right? So it's a good question. What would they do with it, right? Ah, look at this. We have Tech, the man, the myth, the legend here. All right? That's right. So Tech is basically saying 250 million is in Tether. So it's in actual cash, right? Backed, wink, wink, whatever you want to call it. It's in backed in, okay? Yes, so a lot of the money that we've seen, I just talked about that earlier, flowed in from the alts. So the alts, all that money they made just drop in the market on us, which they made a shitload of money. They made a shitload of money going up. They made a shitload of money coming down. They made a shitload of money just right here in alts. And, you know, the question that I have, the most important question that we have right here is this. What is this guy gonna do and say over the next few hours or days? I mean, first thing he's going to do is guy's going to get a freaking lawyer, right? He's going to get a lawyer, right? The next thing is, if this guy has ties to the Colombian drug cartels, and this guy even thinks of rolling over on the Colombian drug cartels, I mean, he might as well just kill himself, right? Right? I mean, this is like, if this is true, right? If this is true, I mean, right? If he has their money and it gets snagged, he is a dead man, right? If he rats on the cartel, he is a dead man, right? So one way or another, this dude is kind of screwed. This guy's in a really, really bad position, right? He's in a bad position because, number one, laundering money for drug cartels, right? Laundering millions for a drug cartel is gonna get this guy life in prison. That won't be that long for him, I think. So his only option here would be to sing like a bird and rat out everyone to get protection from the government, right? I mean, that's pretty, yeah, he's gonna get abstained, that's right. That's right. Yeah, dude, this guy is in big, big trouble because he's kind of trapped right here because he can't really rat on the drug cartels, but he's going to do life in prison for laundering $400 million for drug cartels. So you pick it. I mean, I don't know. Anybody ever spent time in a Polish prison? How is it? You tell me. How are Polish prisons? Are they like nice, like Club Med prisons, or are they like hardcore prisons? So it just depends on where they're gonna throw this guy in jail. Number one. Number two is, I mean, they wouldn't have arrested him if they didn't have some kind of evidence. So this leads me back to the original guys who were the two individuals who were charged with running the shadow banking in Phoenix, Arizona, and the other Israeli dude, right? And my thought is that these guys ratted on this guy. So these two guys ratted on this dude, and they probably been since November running a sting on this. This guy's probably had his phone tapped, his emails tapped, his everything tapped. He's probably had, and it shows you down, you had Europol, Interpol, and U.S. services, including the DEA. So this tells me that this was an American organized operation, right? This says, let's grab that a little more, right? This tells me right here, this tells me that the guys in the US who got popped ratted on this guy, and the US and DEA, the US government is Gov, and the DEA working with EU police departments have been, I want to see, tracking and gathering info on this guy since, I want to say, December or January of 2018, 2019. right? This is directly related to those guys in the US. A guy from Phoenix, Arizona, who had the 14K in dirty US $100 bills. Right? And I'm telling you, what this says is this guy, these guys ratted on this dude right here. These guys ratted on this dude, and now this dude is one step closer to the front door of Bitfinex. And that's kind of how this whole thing looks to me. Now, here's the big question we're all trying to figure out. What happens next? Okay? What would you do if you were Bitfinex and your inside guy, who's been your other main banker, so this is your other dude, your other banker, who has all the dirt, all the inside information, because this guy is like the guy, like this guy is pretty well tied into Bitfinex. He's got to know everything that's going on. What would you do? And why would you bring all of this money onto the exchange? Why would you do it? Why would you bring $200 million, $250 million onto the exchange? Exit scam? Are you going to do an exit scam? You know, I mean, you got to tell me, guys. Yeah, Tech, I agree. This guy knows a lot. He knows everything about the cartels. He knows everything about Bitfinex. What do you do here? We all know that Bitfinex has been the ones running the marketplace for forever, since 2017. What would you do? Yeah, I think I'm with Jason. I think I'm with Jason. I mean, if this guy's not into some hardcore protective custody with like 45 security, like cameras, guards, because yeah, they're going to Epstein this dude in a heartbeat. He's going to choke on a piece of broccoli or something, or kill himself, wink, wink. Yeah, why wouldn't they be dumping their money off to USD or USDC? You know, maybe the other thing is that they're gonna give the market one last pumpy and then pull their exit scam. They got $250 million, right? I mean, why not pump the living crap out of the market right now, right? So let's put down options on the table. Okay, so options on the table, number one, and we're talking about for Finex, right? So number one, I mean, simple, just pump the market and then exit scam. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, I mean, that's kind of an easy one, right? Yeah, Tech, how far could 250, even $200 million, 200 million in BTC, how far is that? How far is that? $200 million in BTC, how far would that pump the market up? Got it. 100 million can do all-time high. because the market is thin, because the books are thin. The books are thin, so 100 mil could hit, I mean, what, 20K? So 100 mil could, I don't know if 100 mil could hit 20K. I mean, I think you'd need a little more than that. I mean, I think you might need the whole 200 to hit 20K, right? Right, what would I do if I was Finex right now? First of all, I'd be sitting in a room of lawyers. So first thing, I'd be sitting in a room of lawyers figuring out how to discredit this guy and how to distance this guy to myself. Right? Number two is, where is this guy in the hierarchy? What could he know? Because if he says that people inside of Finex, including him, knew that they were working with Colombian drug lords, that would put literally, it would just put the whole of Finex at risk for seizure. Would you want to get caught with your... So Tech, here's a quick thing. Here's a quick question, Tech. The Finex pump wallet, if they seized Finex, that pump wallet's not associated, it's not on the exchange in any way. It would just mean that money would still be in that wallet. They would have access to that wallet. They just wouldn't have the ability to use it on the exchange, on the Finex exchange. They could still distribute that to anywhere. Yeah, that wallet's fine. What about the 47 million on the Finex? Is that actually on the exchange? Yeah, they use it on Binance. So the question is that $47 million, where is that? Is that sitting on the exchange? So there's 47 million. The cause for seizure, Jason, would be if the money was easy. If the money's okay, so if Bitfinex made money, or this guy made money laundering on the exchange, and they said, oh, hey, we're going to launder $390 million on the exchange, and Bitfinex is going to make $1 million in trading fees, right? That $1 million, of course, would be, well, number one, if they knew about it, the whole site would be seized. I mean, you can't do that. It's completely against the law all over the world. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They go in and immediately seize. They arrest everybody. Everybody's just fucked. There's no even questions about it. They just roll in deep with guys in black uniforms, machine guns, and helicopters, and they arrest everybody, right? And then they go online. They shut down the website. So the website gets seized. You just can't do that. You just... it just... But here's the thing, if the guy was using Finex and Finex knew about it, or anybody inside of Finex knew about the money laundering, then that would once again be cooperation between Finex and the money laundering. And people have accused of them, the exchanges of this, forever. And I mean, this would be like a big thing for the U.S. government. Yeah, now what they do is they'd have to get this guy in a room and he'd have to say, okay, here's the deal. Here's how we did it. They would send me $1 million. I would then put it on an exchange and I would then convert it to Bitcoin and then I would then move it here or move it there. I mean, that's kind of what they would have to do. He would have to describe how they laundered the money in detail. That's something I don't know. So, however, somebody knows, well, I mean, they know how he laundered the money. They know he laundered the money, so I'm sure they know how he did it. So if he was, and it clearly says he was using an exchange, how was he using exchange to launder the money? Right? Because that's just not like a little, that's $390 million. That's a lot. So it's a lot of money to launder. And if you dumped $390 million into freaking Bitcoin, goddamn, that'll pump the market. Holy Jesus. I mean, he's had to been doing that over time. That's just not one, one transaction. That's like a lot of money he's had to be running through there. Another question, were they trading Bitcoin to the cartels for cash? So if the cartel does an OTC transaction for $1 million with Finex, do they do OTC transactions? Anybody know if Finex does OTC transactions? Got it. Okay. So Finex was doing OTC transactions in exchange for Bitcoin. The cartels would then take possession of the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin they can then move to anywhere on any exchange all over the world, and they could then dump that Bitcoin out and the money was clean. Yeah, so there you go. So 3. Were they doing large OTC transactions on Finex that exchanged cash for BTC, which the cartel then moved the BTC off to other exchanges around the world and then pulled it off as clean cash. Right? So if they were doing OTC transactions, large ones, $1 million here, $1 million there, shit, it's only 390 million. Ah. Yeah. So if they were doing OTC, large OTC transactions, that's easy to launder the money then. So all they do is they just take the money. And here's the question. So here's the thing. So let's okay. So this. Are the cartels holding BTC? Or are they holding USDT? Right? Ivan has to know the answer to this. So he's got to know where he was sending the money. If it is BTC, then all that BTC can be seized. How could they seize that BTC though? They would have to know where that wallet is. Can you even seize a wallet? Is it even possible to seize a wallet? Tech, anybody? Does anybody know? Can you actually go out and seize a wallet? I don't know the answer to that. Good question. So, if the cartels are holding BTC and they know they're about to be popped, would they dump their BTC? Private keys, okay. So what would they do? Would they dump their BTC? Because right now they're trying to figure out, there's some guy in Colombia trying to figure out how in the hell to kill this guy. What's going on, Jason? Well, I mean, the cartel's job right now is to figure out how the hell to kill this guy. In fact, that's probably Bitfinex's Finex is probably thinking the same thing. Is there any way this guy could get in a traffic accident on the way to the... Oh, got it. Okay. Nico says the DA tried it. Jason says he doesn't think laundering is their biggest issue at Finex. It's not their main concern. I mean, I think Finex's main concern right now is just how to not get prosecuted for I mean, just market manipulation. Really, I don't think there's, and here's the thing, guys. I know I'm gonna probably take some backlash over this, right? I know I'm probably gonna take some backlash over this. The market needs Finex. God, I hate to say this, but the market needs Finex. Right? This is the volatility. Right? As scammy as it is, this is what we love about crypto. Big moves. Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Wash trading. Yeah, it's manipulation. Manipulation. It's not about their it's not in Data Lord. It's not about Finex's size in the space, because honestly, I think they are 80% of the volume of the trading. Right? I truly feel that Finex is crypto volatility 101. Right? Without them, I feel that the market would definitely stagnate, and I feel we wouldn't get these massive moves. It'd be a sad day for crypto when Finex goes away. Right? It will be a sad day when Finex goes away. Right? The day Finex goes away is the day that it will be a huge sad day for the marketplace, because all the volatility will just get completely shit out of the woodworks. You know, and like Tech says, man, if honestly, if they pull the rug right now, if Finex were to pull the rug on this bad boy and just dump whatever Bitcoin, do we know how much Bitcoin they're holding on to, Tech? Do we know how much BTC they're actually holding on to? Anyone know? Anyone know how much BTC? Does anybody know how much Bitcoin Finex has on hand? I mean, that's kind of a really important thing to know right now, because if Finex does say, you know what, screw this, okay, there's their volume. I wonder how much they actually own. Yeah, Jason, but honestly, if the money laundering, if profits of the money laundering went to the executives and they had knowledge of that money laundering, that would just be that. In fact, money laundering would be a tougher crime, a worse crime than wash trading. So I would actually place the money laundering as like instant done. Where the wash trading and manipulation, you know, they could, you know, him and haw, and well, you know, we're just traders and speculators and blah 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 and this and that. And I think they could get away with that. Holy shit. Yeah. So I would like to know how much Bitcoin they have on hand. So this is a very interesting time right here, because this can take time to play out. And I really think this has, right? So this is interesting here, as this has been playing out since November 2018. And now the net has tightened. Right? The US will get this guy and interrogate him within 24 hours. I'm telling you, the US government is gonna be interrogating this guy within 24 hours. Right? They will use all of his testimony, right, against Finex in the U.S. State Court of New York. So I think what's going to happen is this guy's in custody right now. The U.S. government's on the way. I mean, they probably were there when the guy got arrested anyways. They were probably the ones who set the whole thing up. And they just had to have the Polish go arrest him. So they probably had the Poles go arrest him because he was violating, you know, the banking laws there. Technically, if he was laundering money through Polish banks, the U.S. government would have had to have the Polish government arrest him. Then they would have had to have him brought back to Poland. And he's in Polish custody. So what that means, he's definitely got less legal rights than he would have in America, because I'm not sure the legal rights in Poland, but they cannot be as nice as they are here in America. So I'm sure he's got to figure that pickle out. Right? Let's see if Tech can figure out how much BTC they have. I think Tech should be able to hunt it down. But I think at this point, I don't freaking know. I don't know. I think it just depends on how detrimental this guy is. How detrimental is this guy? How much does he know? Right? I mean, what happens here? What would I do? What would I do? If I thought that the if I thought the US government could seize the Finex site, what would I do? If I thought, well, they don't, I mean, if they show that you're laundering money, that they can just immediately go and seize your, they don't even have to call lawyers. I mean, that's it, that's done. If you're like, oh yeah, we're laundering money through Finex, done. They don't even have, the lawyers can't help them. Yeah, but they have to call their lawyers, call their mamas. You're right, Gio. What would you do if you were Finex and the site could get seized? What would you do? Would you pump the market? Dude, there's more money flowing onto Finex right now. More money keeps flowing into Finex as we speak. 248 million. 249. Why do they keep dumping more money onto the exchange? Why would they keep? I mean, you'd only load money. Right? Load cash. They're loading cash. This is USDT. 249 million. Yeah, dude, dude, trust me, there's some phone calls being made. I mean, are they gonna pump the market and then exit scam? All right. Oh, Jason, 100% there will be an exit scam at some point. Might not be now. Maybe now. Someday soon. Maybe not today, but someday soon. And it doesn't have to be an exit scam, right? I mean, I think the definition of an exit scam is they could just walk away, right? That could be as simple as just walk away, right? Because if they just walk away, that's all I need to do. Because they've made hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, they literally have made hundreds of millions of dollars. All they need to do is just walk away. All right. So the question is, what are they going to do right now? Are they going to pump the market or are they going to dump the market? That's my question to you guys. Are they going to pump the market or are they going to dump the market? Shit. I don't know. All right, that's all I got. I'm the Vamp. It's been my pleasure. I will catch all you guys on the flip side. Let's just trade safe out there right now until we figure out what's going on. Okay? I mean, I'm actually considering putting in some spot one-to-one buys here. Because if they do pump the market, I mean, shit, even if I buy one Bitcoin and they pump the market to 20K, that Bitcoin will be freaking amazing. All right. Thank you all so much. Jesus Christ, Jason. Who do you hang out with? Jason says he knows somebody who's laundering 600 million bucks. Yeah, the Chinese for sure. They're called, I think, aren't they called the Chinese government? It's either the Bidens or the Chinese government. One of the two. Yeah, it's profitable. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you all. I am the vampire, the man, the myth, and the legend. And I am out.